Okay, guys, good evening. It is Thursday, the 5th of April, 5 days into a new month, but what a month it's already been. We launched into Germany yesterday, and the customer VIP program is now live and up and running. So now's the chance to reach out to your current customers and get them to upgrade, and also reach out to literally anyone, everyone that you know that likes drinking wine, and get them to become one of the very first VIP customers within direct sellers. I put one through this morning. I don't know how I managed to do it, because I found out later on that I shouldn't have been able to do it. So Kevin was not sure how I managed to do it, but neither was Trillock or PJ, but it was done. So I think I was the very first person to put a VIP customer in. So PJ owes me a pint. So it is Thursday, which means it is team training call tonight. And again, we just keep bringing you the best of the best of the best. And I've got to know this guy really, really well over the last 12 months. One of the many reasons that I joined Direct Sellers, and what I love about it, is the fact that we're so compliant. It is one of our building blocks, so to speak. Everything that we do is 100% compliant. And I remember when I was out in Vegas last year for the first convention, and listening to Kevin Thompson, he's the number one attorney in the network marketing industry. And he said the reason that he loves working with the guys, and the reason why he works with direct sellers, is the fact that they are so compliant. They never go to him and say, Kevin, what about if we do this? Can we get around that? And, if we didn't do this, can we still do that? That they know exactly what they're doing. And, he loved that. And I think it's mainly down to the guy that you're going to hear tonight. So, as I said, a lot of you probably would never have met this guy. A lot of you may probably not have seen him or heard of him, but, he works his rear end off day in, day out. He's got an amazing team over there, and he protects us. He's like our police officer. He's like, he's our security officer. So I am going to introduce to you our very own compliance officer, Big T, Mr. Tony Lanza. So, Tony, are you on? Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Perfect. So, Tony, first of all, I appreciate you getting on tonight or this afternoon for you. I know how busy you are, how busy you've been, especially with launching Australia and launching Germany. And, I know that you and the guys work like endlessly and tirelessly round the clock to make sure that we're doing everything correctly, and we're all being compliant. So on behalf of myself and the team and the guys that are on, and the people that are going to watch this back, we really do appreciate you taking the time out to join us on this call.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Paul. When you had asked me a couple of weeks back, I was ecstatic to do so. And what's nice about what you're saying is that when I did come aboard back in May of 2017. I felt like, there was so much that needed to be accomplished. And now over the last almost 11 to 12 months, our department has grown. I know that you've heard of Laura Williams, and she's also a part of our compliance team. She's more on the legal side of our compliance department. I'm more involved with the rep side of the department itself. And yeah, and I really appreciate what you say. We do work tirelessly. We really feel like that we need to. At times, with the amount of growth that we're having right now, it's so imperative for us to continue to stay compliant. And I know you wanted to kind of have me give a little bit of a background on myself and the team and whatnot. And I just wanted to, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not that are on the call today, but our company is derived by relationships. And what I mean by that is John Gilbert and Peter Jensen, who are the two co-founders of the company. I have relationships with those gentlemen for over 20 years. John Gilbert I'm going on my 22nd year with him. He introduced me to the telecommunications industry, and I have not left his side since. And then Peter Jensen, I've been in traditional business models with him, along with a couple other companies that he's been involved with on the network marketing side as well. And I've been with PJ for about 15 years now. And when you continue to hang around the right people and be around the right people and work with the right people and doing the right thing by them and vice versa, it evolves. It evolves into a family type atmosphere. And that's why I treat you all in the field the way I treat you, because we really feel like without you, there's no us, and without us, there's no you, right? So it's very, very important to continue these relationships and build. I know exactly what makes this a good fit for me is I know exactly what Johnny and PJ are looking for. And there's times where Johnny will even call me or email me or send me something. I'll have something complete for him before he even asks me for the final draft of it, knowing what he wants. So that's why I just wanted to kind of throw that out there and give you a good understanding of how this came to fruition and how I actually became involved with direct sellers. And my year anniversary is actually next month on May 2nd. It'll be 12 months. And I have to tell you, I couldn't do it without the team. I couldn't do it without Laura. Laura is a big part of our company now, and she does a lot of behind the scenes stuff that is just so tedious and taskful, and so many different I's and that need to be dotted and T's that need to be crossed, and we really work well as a team together. So with both of us, you'll actually finally get a chance to meet her in New Orleans. With both of us together at the helm here, I really feel like we're on the right path. So with that being said, Paul, I might want to play a little role play with you here with this training. I don't want to go too fast and not too slow, but I also want to remind everyone that Laura and I did an actual training on March 10th of this year. It was a Saturday afternoon training, and that training was recorded. So, Paul, what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush up on some of the bullet points from that recording that I feel are really important, and we can always send that link out as well, as long as with this video as well, so that our members can get a good feel for what it is that we're actually looking for. So, Paul, you and I kind of exchange screenshots back and forth of different things that we see out in the field, and you've become really prevalent in the fact that an understanding of what we're looking for. So I noticed that you're noticing some things that are still happening out there, and I just kind of want to kind of brief on a couple of those right now. I still notice, and you'll say the same here, I still notice that people are continuing to make it known that, or try to make it known that we are a wine franchise. And you know what? We're not. We're not a wine franchise. Our representatives are independent representatives for direct sellers, and what they do is they actually sell wine club memberships. And I'm going to reiterate this over this call over and over and over again so it's understood. I'll be very redundant, okay, for a reason and a purpose. And I also see our representatives saying we are hiring. Well, that's really not true as well, because an independent representative is not hired by a company. They follow the guidelines and the policies and procedures of that actual company in itself. So I still see that. I still see the word party being thrown around. I still see phrases like we get paid to drink wine being thrown around. So Paul, I know you see it, right? I feel like sometimes it really, and I understand that this material was out there for quite some time, and I know our company has changed for the better since those materials were actually given out to the field. But this is 19, 20 months later, okay? So I really want everybody to understand, we do not get paid to drink wine. We are not hiring, okay? We are not wine franchise owners. What independent representatives of direct sellers do is sell wine club memberships to customers or other representatives who want to do the same. And that's through a social atmosphere, or what we would call a social gathering, Paul, which is a wine social. I have no problem with it really being called a wine tasting as well, but I just like the social side of the business more than anything else. And, I also have questions come about where I'll see somebody saying, we sell wine. Paul, we do not sell wine. Not at all, not even close. So there's so many different things that are out on the internet today that people are copy and pasting, and I know the excitement that's out there, and they're just trying to get the word out. My thought process is this: take a deep breath, get a good feel for what you're seeing out there, get with your leader, whether it's Paul, whether it's the Razman, whether it's anyone out in the field right now, and say, hey, listen, is this something that we should be saying? Is this something that is compliant or is not compliant? And guess what? We're all going to work together to make sure we get those answers. I just think it's very important for each of us to have the right verbiage moving forward. Okay, so let's just go over this one more time. I want to be redundant. We are not a wine franchise. Independent reps are not hiring. We're not getting paid to drink wine, not even close. And we do not sell wine, and we do not host parties. We host wine socials, giving yourself the ability to grow a team and explain the opportunity first and foremost, more than anything else, Paul, it's so important for people to understand that when you walk into a gathering, a wine social, and I know this happens, and I can understand why, but if you talk about the opportunity first, and you give people a good understanding of why they're really there, and it's not a party, and it's not just handing somebody a glass of wine and then explaining the opportunity behind it, because guess what? When I have a glass of wine, I become Mr. Social too, right? I'm talking, I'm chirping, I'm talking, hey, how you doing? Hey, this is great, isn't it? And the next thing you know, you're actually talking above the person who's trying to explain the opportunity. So I really feel it's important for us to do especially on the presentation side. I actually highlighted this on my notebook. The opportunity should always be first and foremost. And then close with the wine, because the wine is the closer at the end. And even if they do not drink wine, guess what? They could still make this into a business for themselves, which is nice. Not everybody on this planet drinks wine, but I know a lot of people like to socialize, and I know a lot of people, what people are seeing in this world today is a lot of negativity, right? And Paul, you were in New York. We saw all different types of people from all different parts of the country and the world gather in New York and in Vegas over the last couple of months, and socialize and get along and have a great time together. I think if we as a company and as representatives really start to push more on that side than anything else, I mean, the program itself, especially with with all the new promos that are going on, the VIP program, that sells itself. But if you can sell the reason why you got involved, Paul, the reason why your wife loves the company, the reason why the Razman does, and everyone else that's in your group and understands the concept, and the fact of the matter is that you're bringing people closer together from all over the world. And that's what I feel is important. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Paul. I would love for you to do so if you do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've had conversations ourselves about what we see, and you know, I see, and luckily, like everyone on the phone, like now, and the majority of people in our team are quite good on it now. But it does frustrate me when I do see people getting paid to drink wine, and you do see like the amount of people that literally do just copy and paste, and there's no, you know, they don't take any time to actually read what's in the post, so they don't make it their own. And I think with this business model, and I've said this from day one, and I say it so many times, I say it over and over and over and over again. For me personally, this is the most simplistic business model that I've ever come across. And that's what we need to keep reminding ourselves, is that it is simple and that anyone can do this. As you know, just keep it simple, stick to the basics, enjoy yourself, have fun. But if you're not sure of a certain post, especially if you're new, if you're not sure of what you can write or what you should write, then, you know, speak to myself, Raz, Ben, you know, one of the leaders, Tara, DCI Tara, or, you know, Tony's there, and Tony and Laurie are there to help us. You know, they're there to support us, to guide us, to protect us, but like most importantly. So, you know, I love the fact that there is so much excitement and there is so much hype, but we do need to, you know, follow the rules, and we do need to stick to it. And, you know, I appreciate what you just said there about it's not a party, and, you know, it's a classy business. You know, that's what I love about it. Wine is it's a classy product. People like getting dressed up. People like going to the bars and the clubs and the restaurants and the hotels, or even if they're in their front room, people still get dressed up because it's wine. And as soon as you put that glass of wine in their hands, as I said, it's the whole social aspect. It doesn't, you know, the conversation doesn't always need to be around direct sellers. It's, you know, it's everything, and it brings people together. And like you said, in New York, all different people, all shapes and sizes, all different walks of life coming together. Same with in Vegas. And this is what I love about what we've got with DC, is that it brings everyone together. You know, it brings every kind of person, whether you're black, white, tall, short, fat, thin, you know, whatever their likes, dislikes, hobbies, you know, what people are passionate about. We've got such a mixed range of people that are doing this business because of the product, because of how social it is, because of how simple it is, and because of how fun it is. So, you know, my advice to anyone is not to change who you are as a person, and just, you know, keep being yourself, especially when it comes to social media. But if you're not sure, if you're not 100% certain on what you should be saying or shouldn't be saying, then, you know, reach out to us. I'd prefer for someone to bug the hell out of me for a month until they know exactly what they can and can't say, rather than going off and just posting it. Because
I agree.
If you go away and post it, like, you'll be on my ass anyway. So,
well, I agree with you on that, Paul. And this is the thing. You know, I've had so many people, so many of our members, email me and thank me just for, say, for instance, just for a couple little word changes here and there in a post or on a piece that they put together, a marketing piece. You know, now that we have the marketing piece, the pieces that we do have through corporate that are already, you know, already approved through the compliance department, there's no reason to really say anything else than what you're supposed to be saying. And, you know, even just, I have a couple more notes here too, in regards to compliance and regards to leadership, which is what I wanted to talk a little bit about. And, you know, I've been noticing too, Paul, health claims. You know, I know that there's a lot of health claims that are being posted on social media. And listen, wine does do a lot for the body. It really does. But when you post something like that from WebMD, or say, for instance, from a different vineyard or something that came out of a magazine, you should always put a disclaimer on there that this is not directly coming from direct sellers. We're not advertising this particular phrase or ad itself, and actually list where it comes from, so that people get a better understanding that we're not saying that, hey, red wine is going to cure cancer, because we know that that's not the truth. Okay, we know that that's something that we can't derive ourselves. Okay, if you have something that says something similar to that effect, make sure it comes. There's a disclaimer that's making people understand where that particular phrase came from, and you know, even put the link up. Even if it is WebMD, great. Put the link up and say, hey, this did not come from DC, but look what WebMD has to say. That's all we're looking for. And then when it comes to leadership, you know, Paul, we talked about this a bunch of different times. Leaders will set the precedent of what their team does. If you follow the straight and narrow, and you understand the policies and procedures, and you know that you're doing everything right as a leader for your team, they will follow. Okay, and that's important, because really, in all reality, we have so many different leaders that are out there. And even if you are taking a bit and piece of each leader and putting some verbiage together on your own, that's fine too. Just make sure before you post it, read it from an outsider looking in, or possibly from like a regulation standpoint, and say, this may be a little too much. This may be a little too undefined, okay? Things of that nature, and shoot it over to us. I'd be more than happy to look at it. I've had several newcomers in the United Kingdom, in the UK, actually email me some pieces that they've done over recent times. And I just said, you know what? This is great, but let's trim it down a little bit. You already have the excitement through different bullet points that are on this particular piece, and our websites tell the rest of the story. You don't want to give too much information out in such a short period of time to where you have nothing else to go on either. Okay? Get them, what's it called? Like a sexy ad, right? Get them wanting to know more. If it's too busy and too much information is included on one particular piece, they might not go to your website. They might not want to look at the actual service or product that you're offering. So short and sweet, branding yourself along with direct sellers is very important, and continue to be that leader from an ethical side of you. And, you know, Paul did set up something before as well. You know, there's no reason to fluff this up. No deception needed, no bait and switch. The product is the product, and the promos that we're doing now speak for themselves. The capability, the effort that's involved to get to a certain part of the company, or a certain rank within the company, or a certain threshold of income. Set goals for yourself. But it doesn't have to be about the monetary value. It doesn't have to be about the material things, the cars, the homes, and things of that nature. It could be something as short and sweet as, hey, I joined this company so I could pay a cell phone bill every month. The next thing you know, that cell phone bill became my car payment. My car payment then became my mortgage. And the next thing you know, now, guess what? This is my plan A instead of my plan B. So there's so many things that we will continue to talk about, Paul, and push through and forward with. I just want everyone, especially when they come into the business from the beginning, to understand that the leadership that they have is in front of them is doing the right thing. Let's just make sure before you do post anything, let's get a good feel for it, if it is compliant. I'd be more than happy to peruse anything that anyone has out there. And I just want us to be that ethical company that I know that we are. There's just no reason for, and I'm not saying anyone out there is doing this. I just want them to understand the policies and procedures a little bit more and brief those every once in a while. I think it's very important to keep yourself intertwined in the policies and understand what you need to do when it comes to a third-party website, how you need to approach someone, how you should host a DC social. Is the opportunity first, or do we actually share the wine first? Just little things like that. I think the materials that we have are fantastic, and I think from your perspective, Paul, you're talking about so many different moving parts of this company, from Kevin Ralston to Peter Jensen, John Gilbert, Peter Sperling, and the list goes on and on. The Nina Moores of the company, the Gonzaleses, the Leisures, Priscilla Ashley, Jennifer O'Keefe, all these members, all these leaders, Austin Zuloff. I'm on a call with these people at least once a week, and and when I see them on a call to me, or if they're answering the phone on one particular ring when I'm calling, that makes me feel good about what they're trying to accomplish. So everyone is doing their job. Everyone's taking the time to be compliant. And I don't want to keep rambling on, Paul, but I just wanted to drive home that I just wanted to hit up on some of these bullet points from the training that we had on March 10th. I'm so excited for what you and your team are doing. I've had a chance to meet you guys, personally, face-to-face on a couple of occasions. Can't wait to see you in New Orleans. And I want to continue to make sure everybody feels comfortable that I'm an open book. I'm here for you. All you have to do is call or email me, and I'd be more than happy to help.
I appreciate it, Tony. And he may look big and he may look like a brute, but he's a big friendly giant. And we spoke last night, and he even done his hair for you guys tonight.
I even trimmed up a little bit, Paul.
If anyone's unsure about what Tony's spoken about tonight, go into your back office. All the policies and procedures are in there. Everything that you need to know is in your back office. So go in there, read it again, read it again. I'm going to open open it up in a minute for some Q&A. But Tony, I've just got a couple of questions that
Sure.
I know the answers to these myself anyway, but for the newer people on the call, for some of the other guys. So first one, can you tell us why we can't give wine away as prizes at socials?
That's a really good question. From a regulatory standpoint, if you're enticing people to either join the company through say, for instance, through gifting wine, I don't even want to use the word gift. Gifting's a different thing. Say, for instance, if I'm at a wine social and you have somebody that's on the fence, and you're just saying, well, here, take this wine, let me know what you think of it, and so on and so forth. That couldn't fall under the same category as selling wine from a regulatory standpoint. So you never want to provide wine in any type of raffle. You don't necessarily want to give it away. You don't want to use it as for enticement purposes for someone to join. Because really later on down the road, like we just kind of talked about before, there really should be no deception or bait and switch or anything or enticement to have someone want to join. We want them to join for the right reasons. And it all comes down to regulations. You don't want to be in a situation to where a regulator says, well, by you giving that wine away, it falls under the same category as if you were selling wine. And we just can't have that.
Okay, next one. Would you, again, know the answer to this, but what are your views on paying for somebody else to get involved with the business?
It's 100% a violation of our policies and procedures.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can actually answer that, short and sweet to the point. I would not do it. I would not offer it. It always seems to become a negative down the road for the person that did happen to pay for that person to get in. And you know what, Paul, you know as well as I do, if someone's not hungry enough and they have no skin in the game, they're never going to work their tail off to get that money back to someone else. But if it comes out of their own pocket, right, then they're going to work hard to, get that investment back, number one, and turn this into some type of an income down the road.
Yeah.
whether it's a car payment, whether it's a cell phone payment, whatever the case may be, set goals for yourself from the start. And if someone is as good as they say they are, they're not going to have you pay for them to get in. They'll find the money to get in because this opportunity speaks for itself.
Perfect. And my last one before I open it up, a bit of a well, it's a touchy subject, we know, but with regards to cross recruiting, where do we stand in terms of what we can do, and what should we do if we get cross recruited by somebody else?
That's a great question as well. We are very lenient when it comes to the fact that we know that there's many people within our company that do multiple things. What we're asking, though, is this. If you have an audience of direct sellers representatives, that's your audience, outside of your personally enrolled, you cannot utilize that audience for other services that you offer through other companies, okay? If you happen to see that would be a violation. So utilizing your DC audience other than your personally enrolled is a violation of policies and procedures. You will be warned for that if something happens to come across my desk, and we'll give you an opportunity to explain yourself. There's a 3-step process when it comes to that. If you happen to see someone that's doing it, it's a violation for you not to report it as well, and we will keep your name anonymous. But in order for us to keep the integrity of our company the way we'd like to moving forward, we want to make sure that people are, if they are working other businesses, then they need to do what it takes, whether it's social media, whether it's going up, pounding the pavement, doing what they need to do, and not utilize the environment that they already have through the direct sellers relationship. So do what you need to do on the inside world, but just don't touch, or on the outside world, just don't touch the direct sellers participants if they're not personally enrolled to you. That's it. So it's a more of an ethical obligation. The fact of the matter is you could be terminated if you violate more than once. So I don't want to get too much more into the negativity part of that, but I just want everybody to understand we've had it happen. We have a 3-step process that goes into place. We will give you the benefit of doubt, and if it happens more than once, then there is a chance for suspension and termination.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tony. That is everything for me. So, guys, has anyone got any questions for Big T? I can see everybody's faces. So if anyone's got a question, hands up and I'll unmute you. No, but everyone must be scared of you, Tony. That's what.
Either that, Paul. We did a great job. Either one. I'm not sure.
Has anyone got any questions? Because otherwise, we are literally bang on time, bang on half an hour.
Yeah.
No, perfect. Well, Tony, as always, I appreciate your friendship first and foremost, and we've got to know each other really well over the last 12 months. And again, I can't wait to see you in New Orleans in September. But on behalf of myself, the team, that's on the call now, the UK, the Australians, and the rest of the gang, that we really do appreciate everything that you do and your team do and corporate do. And thank you very much for taking the time out to share with us some of the information tonight. It was a great call. I'm sure everyone would agree with that. We'll get the recording out and we'll put it in the group tonight. So guys, thank you very much for joining. As always, Monday night we're back with our opportunity call, 8:30, same link, and then next Thursday we've got Tanner Johnson on. So again, we keep bringing you the very best in the training. May is now all confirmed as well. We've got 5 great speakers in May, but you've still got three great speakers to go in April. So loads coming up. I've got my second wine social on Saturday. That's number 2 of 14 for the month. So, but now's the time. Now the VIP program's in place. Now's the time to hammer home and get in your front rooms, get in your neighbours' front rooms, get in your family's front rooms, because this is where now we can really create a noise within the industry and all over social media. And there's so many benefits to the customer now. If you read through the benefits that the customer gets in terms of discounted on future box orders and the prizes and the draws and everything else that we get, they get as a customer. They get their 12th month free. So, you know, we're not looking at getting customers in for a month and then going away and coming back. We want people to stay. We want this to be you know, the greatest wine club in the world, and we want people to feel part of it and be welcome. And, you know, as business partners, it's down to us to help those customers get their three customers themselves, so they can get free wine moving forward. For us as business partners, you know, you've seen a couple of posts last night that myself and then Tara put on. The money that is at stake now with just a customer business model is absolutely frightening. It really is. It's unbelievable. So I'm here to help you as always. Ben is, Raz is when he's not doing something silly. Tony's email address is in the notes, is in the chat group. But, you know, use him. He's there for us. You know, anything that you're not sure of that you want to run past him, email him. Because, you know, if we get this right and we all play ball and we stick together, as I said, I love the fact that we're so compliant and we're so hot on it as well. So I'm really excited about where this is going. You know, every single week I say the same things on the team training call, but every single week something else happens to make it better and better and better. So I'm looking forward to April. I think it could be one of our best months yet as a company. What's that?
Remind everyone that Tony's 5 hours behind.
Oh yeah, one thing to remember that 5 hours behind us, and he very rarely turns his phone off. So don't at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And
that's never happened before, Paul.
So, guys, enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. Let's see if we can get some more VIP customers in. Tony, as always, my man, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Tony.
And guys, we'll be
Thank
back
you.
Monday. So
Thank you.
up in the group, and I'll touch base with you all very, very soon. Cheers, guys, and good night.
Bye. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Cheers, Tony. Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.